I didn't take my ADD pills today, I'm not gonna lie. It's really been a real, and that's a very bright blue. My favorite blue. Royal blue, is that what it's called? Did you pick it out?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'll stay focused. And then I burnt my hand on fucking bone broth. Why'd I even try to be healthy? It's so fucking... The last two healthy things I've done, bone broth, and then I tried to make turmeric suppositories. Here's the problem with turmeric. Turmeric is not that bioavailable. So you want to have curcumin, you want to have it with black pepper. It is pretty good for inflammation. So I'm sitting in front of my fucking red light therapy. I don't just have the mask, I got the light. I'm doing hyperbaric oxygen therapy with a turmeric suppository in. I didn't know turmeric stained fucking everything. Yeah. My girlfriend was like, what? Why is there this color stuff? It's even in the bathroom. And I was like, some asshole broke in here and made a turmeric suppository. I actually really did try to invent something. I tried to create this product. Well, first I tried to create caffeinated cigarettes, where you take the caffeine and you put it into the filter of the cigarette. That was my big idea. Because I was like, it'll be addictive, kids will have it on the go, whatever. And that was my big idea. And for context, so my dad is a math professor and a vegetarian, and my mom is like a really good person. So I told my parents this idea, and just like the look of disappointment. They're like, you have an invention? Oh, we're so excited, honey. What is it? And I was like, okay. All right, cigarettes? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, I found a way to make them more addictive. Sad day for everybody at the house. So I shelved that, repented, and then I said, I'm gonna try to invent something though, And I would try to invent something called Stop the Scuff, which is like a clear plastic material that goes on your pants bottom, and it prevents them from scuffing. It's like a buffer between your pants and the ground. That was my idea. So I still really like that idea. And I tried so hard. I sent it to like a product prototype developer, but I did no research, and the person ended up being a scam. Don't find someone on Craigslist, I guess is my only advice, I guess. Don't tell the guy you buy Adderall from you want to make a product and then have, But, so that was my idea. And that it didn't work out. I was so crushed. But I did get one thing from it. What it was for years, when people ask how you got into comedy, I said I tried to be an inventor, it didn't work out, so thought stand-up would be a safer bet. I don't know. Seemed more stable, And when you tell people what you tried to invent, sometimes they'll tell you their invention ideas. And I had a real moment. I had just been doing entertainment for a little bit. When you work in entertainment, you'll get a manager, and that person's supposed to see something in you that they want to help elevate. They want to bring you to another level. That's the idea. So I was with my first manager, and I was so excited. And he said, you try to invent something? Me too. And I was like, awesome. What'd you try to invent? And hand to God, he said, have you ever been eating an orange? I said, yeah, absolutely, many times. And he was like, have you ever wanted more of it? And I was like, sure, I've eaten 3 oranges at a time, many times. I've probably eaten 5 before, I don't know. And he goes, well, what if you could have more of the orange? What if you could have something called the morange, where it's more of the orange. It's like a bigger orange. And then he just kept explaining it, and like he was like waiting for a different reaction, because I was just like, oh my God, fuck. He's like, it's like a bigger orange. And where my mind was going, why he was going bigger orange, was I was like, okay, so the guy who believes in me also is trying to push the morange. So am I like the entertainer equivalent of the fucking morange? I'm screwed. Well, if you don't like Willmann, have you ever been trying to eat an orange and wanted more of it? I could try to sell you on that too. But I wanted so bad for this guy to be legit. I wanted so bad that I started even thinking the morange was a good idea. I remember telling my sister, she was like, how's it going with that new manager? And I was like, well, he's not just a manager, he's like kind of an innovator in some ways. He doesn't just do management, he's also, well, have you ever been eating an orange and you're like, well, I did the effort of the peeling. I wish there was more for my effort of peeling, so I'm like, I wanted more of the orange. And she's like, yeah, you get another orange. And I was like, well, what if you didn't have to? You know, what if there was more of the orange? And she was like a big orange. I'm like, yeah, like a morange is what we'd call it. And she was like, okay, what are you getting at? And I was like, so that's his idea, though. Like, he came up with more orange. He came up with that. And she was like, you got to go to rehab, I think. You got to go to rehab. I know you've been sober for a couple years, but I think you just need to go right back to rehab for you, you know. And I think it would have checked out. I don't think anyone in a rehab would have looked at me funny if we were going around in a semicircle explaining our bottoms. And I'm just there like, well, I had this manager and he wanted to create something called a morange. And I was like, that's a good idea. I think everyone in rehab would be like, oof, that's dark. Yeah, that's dark. We were at a restaurant. And it was one of those long tables, and the side that I was on was like the not fun side. You ever get stuck on that side? You're at and then you got to make a game time decision. You're like, all right, am I about to like try to boost this up so we take them over? Or do I just accept that I'm at the fucking not fun side? What is it? Because I've tried to boost it up before, and that's uncomfortable. Because you start like hyping up the people around you, like, and then what happened when you found out she was cheating on you? What happened? Get the energy up. We're having more fun than you. Oh shit, she was cheating with your friend. That's crazy. It's not working. That happened to you recently? You got stuck at the not fun side? I didn't know if it was a relatable thing. Did that happen to you?
Earlier today, I was at a table with a bar on it, and I was like, this is not fun, because it had a bar near my leg, but it was not what you're doing.
So it wasn't like you were with a bunch of people, you just didn't like the setup of the table.
It was not fun on that side of the table.
Oh, I get it. It was just literally a bad side of the table. Yeah.
I took it way more literally than I
No, I totally get it. That's totally how I would have done the same thing. I was like, I've been at a bad side of a table myself. Yeah, it was a little pokey for me. It was kind of poking me in the hip. It was a very bad side of the table. Oh. Well, I need to make sure I articulate it clearer. I don't know how to do that. I guess it'd be like if you're at a group setting and you're in a group and you're stuck on, it's at a big, then it's too, and then it's a big group, but your side of the group is lower energy than the other side. Yeah, fuck, see? Well, all right. Trying out here.
I think it's more me than you.
Nah, it's probably more me than you. I don't know. But I appreciate that. Do you describe yourself as neurotic?
No.
Really? Oh, okay. Then it's more you than me. Sure, absolutely. Because I'm pretty neurotic. I would have been like, yeah, it's more me than you. But okay, yeah. But if you got poked by the table, you were literally on the bad side of the table. And it just happened. You're coming in hot. Probably still annoyed about it right at the show, sitting next to the two people you were with, like, why weren't they at the bad side of the table? And then you got me up here like, you been at the bad side of the table? Matter of fact, I have. I was waiting for someone to ask me about the side of the table I was on. Finally. I don't know what's going on with me recently, but I've been feeling like nervous around woke people, which is weird because I look like their leader, you know, like. And I try to be a good person, but I'm an opportunist. Like when people ask me my pronouns, I say, oh, well, if it's time to get paid, he, him. If it's time to pay, she, her. And, you know, if it's time to apply for a grant, I guess they, them, Native American. It is what it is. Trying to hustle out here. But I get that. I get being like, whoa, weirded out when someone's into something you're not into. Of course, I empathize. You have to override it, but like, I get it. I get that knee-jerk reaction. Like I was at a wedding recently, and I was with a straight male friend of mine, and it was a lesbian wedding. Now, like I said, I'm attracted to feminine women, so it was a lesbian wedding, 2 women, and they were both wearing suits. Good for them, they looked great. But while I watched them waddle around, it was like I couldn't help myself. I turned in the middle of the ceremony and I whispered to my friend, I was like, dude, what is happening to the American family? I mean, what the fuck? Who wins the arguments? It's crazy. How do they have sex? It's bizarre. He was just staring ahead like, you know, as a straight guy, I can't even like legally respond to that. I'm like, I know. But you're thinking it, aren't you? Like, who? Like when they go through a door, who opens the door and then goes like that? Okay. All right, after you. No, after you. How does that? Feels like the arguing would be so much easier. Could you imagine if you were with someone who was like I only know how to argue with feminine energy. Like I've got that down. Anybody who's dated a woman would know this. You go, some version of, like, I'm sorry I didn't listen. Damn, I should have listened. I should have listened. You know what? That we could have avoided this whole thing. If I had listened to you, I would have known sooner that you're right and I'm wrong and I apologize. Like, and then you gotta marinate in it, fucking like I just should have. And you have to sell it like your life depends on it. Because if she doesn't believe it, you're fucked. If she's like, are you just apologizing because you think that's what I want to hear? And you're not really sorry? Mayday, mayday, mayday! Get out, get out! You gotta have some shit quick. Because the worst place to be if she is like, what are you even apologizing for? What are you even apologizing for? I was apologizing for not listening, but not listening to what? I don't know, I didn't listen. So what are you apologizing for? The thing that I did wrong, and what did you do wrong? Whatever I did was wrong. What? You're right. Are you just saying I'm right? No. Yes. Fuck. It'd be so much nicer to argue with a energy. I'd be like, I'm sorry I didn't listen. They'd be like, we were supposed to be listening? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. That's why when straight friends are like, I wish I was gay, it'd be so much easier. I'm like, no, what would be easier is if you were with someone that you had no emotional investment in and was just like someone more like a friend. That'd be easier. Because with a friend, you wouldn't play the I'm sorry game. If it's a friend, you'd be like, I'm sorry. Okay, done and done. There's no fucking mind fuck of it. There's no digging deep. There's no having to come up with something to get you off the hook, that will compromise your values. I've said some crazy shit to get out of an argument. Crazy shit. If you really get caught red-handed for something, who's this? What's this about? Why are they in your phone under a fake name? I've said some crazy shit. There's one thing you can say that will get you out of jail, but you go right to hell. Go right to hell. You gotta hit them with the something that anybody would empathize with. Anyone. Who's this? What's this? You gotta say, fucking, I was molested. What? What? When? This morning at Dunkin' Donuts. It's fucking crazy. You'll go right to hell, but it will get you out of the situation. And you got to remember, you got to follow up, because she's going to follow up. Can we talk about what you told me the other day? What? Oh, yeah, fucking. The reason I was always in the closet about my dyslexia and all this stuff was because I grew up in really rural Maine. I grew up in rural Maine, right? And now I like saying I live in Vermont. I mean, I like saying I live in New York, because people understand that. They're like, oh, New York, grimy. But I say I'm from Maine, people are like, oh, I love New Hampshire. It's not the part of Maine I'm from. The last person I told I was from Maine just was like, oh, Maine, I've got 4 cousins from Canada. Okay. I like Kit Kats. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And it's rural America, right? There's nothing to do in my hometown. You live in New York, you got all these options, you got restaurants, black people. It's very different. Very different. But, there's nothing in Maine. We just have the restaurant, the Jewish person. People are like, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to go to the restaurant? I don't know. Is the chef working, or is he with the prostitute? I don't know. Bob, what's your mom doing? Oh, boy. I'll leave you guys with this. I used the word retarded the other day, and I felt very bad about it, and some guy overheard me, and he called me out. He said, don't say that word. So right away, I thanked him. I said, you're right, I shouldn't say the word retarded, because my uncle is retarded. Conversation should have ended there, except he looks at me and he goes, oh, your uncle's retarded? Is he legally retarded? Are you trying to call my uncle an illegal retard? I don't think he's pretending he's retarded for his taxes. I've never seen him get nervous when the cops are around. How many gazebos do you have? What is your problem? It's weird to have a legality with retardation, too. I was thinking about that. How much would it suck to take your kid to go get tested for retardation, have the doctor come out and be like, all right, we've got good news and we've got bad news. Your son, not retarded. Real dumb, though. He is really slow. He missed that retardation factor by like 1 point. Special Olympics for sure. All right, I'm going to end it right there. You guys have been great. My name's Willmann. Give it up for your host. Thanks so much.